Hey, what's up everybody? This is Oceanberg501 and today I want to go over a new state of the game update for Marvel's Avengers. Now I just want to go over some of the more specific stuff. This is a pretty long read if you guys want to go read this yourself on the official Marvel's Avengers website. First off, on the 22nd of October, which is the upcoming Thursday, we are going to be getting a bunch of free in-game resources just as a thank you from the dev team. Most likely we will be getting a patch on this day because it is Thursday. That's usually when they try to do the patches. I'm pretty sure that's when most things or the weekly things in the game are also reset. So it's a pretty good bet that we will be getting a patch, possibly the raid. What we're getting is 1500 credits, which are the real life currency in game. And this, as they say here, is enough for a legendary skin and a nameplate, which is pretty cool. I think that's $15 worth of currency if I'm not mistaken. Not exactly sure. 7,000 units, which is enough for a legendary skin from the cosmetic vendor. 250 upgrade modules, which is pretty nuts. Upgrade modules cap out at 999, so that's like a fourth, or I guess technically more than a fourth of your total amount of upgrade modules you can carry. 20 DNA keys, which is also pretty significant, and a Sarah Garza inspired nameplate. And that's just a ridiculous amount of free resources we are getting, and even real money currency. So that is pretty cool. And like I said, it's on the 22nd, which is a Thursday. Like I said, I'm assuming we'll be getting some type of patch with that, even if there's not new content with it. So we're committed to you in making Marvel's Avengers the superhero game we all aspire to be. Over the next weeks, months, and year, we'll tell new stories infused with cool DNA, debut fan favorite superheroes and supervillains, release new regions and gear, and introduce fresh multiplayer game experiences under our new Omega level threat umbrella. More on that below. Like I said, I just want to go over some more specific stuff that I think is much more important. These few things are stuff that they're working at that will be coming in the upcoming months. And first off is Reassemble campaign replay, an option to reset the Reassemble campaign and replay it with your superhero's level, gear, intact. So this is pretty cool because a lot of the campaign was actually really good. In my opinion, the campaign of this game is probably one of the strongest campaigns and main stories in any of the most recent looter shooter or looter driven games like this. It's kind of in the ballpark of the other looter shooters. Like say something like Destiny, I think the main campaign of Marvel's was much better than something like that. And there's a lot of really cool set pieces, especially the end boss against MODOK and that whole fight scenario, I think was really well done and really cool. So being able to reset that is really cool. I'm not certain how the rewards are going to go because there were certain points in the campaign that you would get like some specific rewards. Like I think at one point you got a legendary free skin or a legendary pattern, and there was just a bunch of random resources that are more set stuff. There was supposed to be like a big reward for getting past a certain point. Mission reward clarity. Improve clarity around mission specific rewards when viewed on the war table. This will allow players to more strategically take on missions to meet their current goals and seek out specific gear and resources. So I'm assuming what some of the stuff would entail is the amount of resources you're actually getting for completing missions, instead of just maybe saying, oh, you can get upgrade modules from this. It'll actually show you the amount. I'm assuming for some of the more specific stuff, like say if you were doing one of the Hives or something, it may show you the different type of named sets you can get for them or stuff like that. Just more specific information on the rewards. Off-screen and range enemy attack indicators, pretty much just helping with showing you range attacks and other attacks coming from off-screen, which is a pretty big issue in the game, especially since so many range attacks are just incredibly strong and can sometimes just insta-kill you on higher difficulties. Next up, rewards. We know how important meaningful rewards are to our fans. Our philosophy is that rewards should always feel worth the time you're invested to earn them. The upcoming AIM cloning lab will guarantee an exotic drop from the first completion per week and a notable chance of exotic drops for subsequent runs. So what they're saying, first run, guaranteed exotic, a decent chance to get exotics for every run after your first per week. You should also feel that exotic drops are more unique to late game play. Tachyon and future AIM cloning labs mission draw from special reward pools. When you get exotics from these late game activities, they will also feel more significant with reworked attributes and perks. With the new Tachyon rifts, the exotics have been much more powerful. They're pretty much showing that and the AIM cloning labs will have more reworked exotics to pretty much have stronger and more unique attributes and perks. So most likely with the AIM cloning labs, all the exotics will probably be new perks and really good stats, which is really, really nice. And I'm hoping the AIM cloning lab exotic rewards even take this further and have more more unique perks and better attribute rolls, because this is definitely something that this game is lacking quite a bit on. They're lacking that moment where you finally get that item drop and it's something super good that you've been waiting for, that changes up your build and does something really cool. It just makes your character feel super strong. That's something that they could definitely learn from Destiny 2, because the exotics in Destiny 2, or at least a lot of them, feel like that. Once you get it, you're like, this is something completely unique. It's going to change up how I play when I'm using it. Just always has that moment once you get it where you're relieved to have gotten it. What you want to do right when you get it is just go use it. Reward tuning will be an ongoing pursuit to ensure we hit the sweet spot with players, and we commit to transparency through patch notes when changes are made. Next up is something we really haven't heard about. We have heard about the AIM cloning lab, but we haven't heard about what they're essentially calling these Omega level threats. In the next few weeks, we'll introduce a new mission classification to Marvel's Avengers. Omega level threats. Missions under the Omega level threat umbrella are multiplayer focused challenges that are tuned for high-end players and offer special late game rewards. Skill and coordination with your team will be key to overcoming these missions, including the Avengers worthy fight at the finale. Omega level threats are a first step towards even a more exciting and challenging late game content. Many in our community have asked if Omega level threat missions are Marvel's Avengers equivalent to raids. Though focused on multiplayer and designed to be extremely challenging, Omega level threats represent our first step in escalating the challenge your heroes face. As the Avengers Initiative narrative continues to unfold, the stakes will get higher and let challenges harder. The first Omega level threat is an AIM cloning lab, which requires the full cooperation of seasoned 4-player team to beat the high level challenge. The lab culminates in a massive fight that is influenced by how you performed in penultimate objective. How, we're not going to spoil the surprise for you. The AIM cloning lab must be completed between 10 a.m. PDT Friday and 10 a.m. PDT Monday. So that's every week. While it can be replayed, the other late game content, it has better rewards for the first completion. So essentially, they're saying Omega level threats are kind of going to be their raids, and the first one is going to be the AIM cloning lab. So these are all going to have requirements of, I'm assuming, 4 players. Maybe some of them will just 2 to 4 players or something like that, so you could get 2 players and then 2 AI bots. But I'm pretty sure specifically for the AIM cloning lab, because some people did have a glitch where they could play it, it does seem that it requires 4 layers, and this is going to be essentially their raids, and they're going to keep adding more of these that are essentially just adding like more raid style content into the game. And they're saying it's going to get harder and harder, so I'm assuming there's going to be, after the cloning lab, stuff that just keeps going harder and harder and gets to be like more and more towards something like a Destiny 2 raid, or maybe something like a WoW raid in terms of difficulty. So that's super exciting. Hopefully PC, since I play on PC, actually keeps enough players to be able to matchmake for those. That would be nice. Future Marvel's Avengers content. Moving forward, we intend to have a fixed, predictable patching cycle to ensure all new content meets both our and your high standards, and it's time for extensive internal testing. We know fans are hungry for new content, but delivering a fun experience is our priority. With this in mind, we've decided to push back Kate Bishop's Operation launch back a bit out of October. We're sorry for the slight delay, but we are dedicated as a team to quality first. So essentially, they're pushing back releasing Kate Bishop into November. That kind of sucks. Actually really sucks, because so many games are coming out in November, and it's going to be really hard for people to try to balance Godfall and Cyberpunk with new content for Marvel's Avengers. In my opinion, it would have been better to release Kate Bishop in the game, even if the game is still in a bit more of a buggy state. In my opinion, if you have enough content for players to play, bugs are going to be much less of an issue, because they always have something to do, so they're going to play through the bugs because the content they're playing is actually new and they're having fun playing it. After that, then comes Clint. We'll have more information on him later, and looking into 2021, our biggest Avengers initiative yet, or addition yet, will introduce a new hero, region, and narrative arc. What I'm pretty sure this is going to be is stuff that was data mined in the files before, so they specifically say a new hero, region, and narrative arc, and we do know that Wakanda, Black Panther were already data mined in the files. I'm assuming we're going to get Black Panther, maybe a few more characters tied around Wakanda. We're going to get the new region of Wakanda with a new outpost, and there's going to be a new raid that is focused on fighting the Kree, because that is also something that was data mined in the files. That would be my bet, and it's a pretty good chance that that is what we're going to end up getting, and that the new raid will probably be another step up on difficulty and and late game content, which is pretty exciting. Hopefully that is very early on, like first month or two of 2021. That's pretty much all I wanted to go over today. Again, there's a lot more to read in this. They go over some of the other late game content, they go over newer stuff, but this was pretty much all of the new information and all of the more important stuff I wanted to go over. I think this shows that they're on the right track to making the game better. It pretty much all comes down now to how quickly they can get these fixes out and how quickly they can start getting content out after they get the game to a point where they think it's patched enough and not super buggy, so they can just focus on releasing new content. Because with games like this, live service games that come out with not enough content at launch, which has pretty much been every live service game or the vast majority of them, they live and die by how quickly new content comes out and how quickly that content can be pretty much completed by the players. But that's all I want to go over today. Subscribe if you want to see more Marvel's Avengers videos. Leave a like if you liked the video. Leave a comment down below what you guys think about all these updates, and thanks for watching.